All right. Fateh is from Nigeria. I'm looking to learn AI, and it is 11 p.m. Okay. Um, 11 p.m. is not too bad. Hello, everyone. I see that there's more folks joining in here today. This is Connect with Community with NextWork. I'm Maya, and it's good to have all of you here. I see we have Sean, we have Shane, we have Roy, we have Soheb, we have Fateh, we have PMAC, Pao, and Harsha. Good to have all of you here today. I know most of you guys are joining from the US. We've got Fateh from Nigeria. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself if you're in a position to unmute? How did you find NextWork? Fateh, are you in a position to unmute?
Oh, hi, can you hear
Hi,
me?
can you hear me? Hello. Thanks for joining us today. Uh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
Good to be here. It's 11:09 for you. How did you tell us a little bit about yourself? How did you find NextWork? What are you hoping to learn?
Okay,
Okay,
thank you for
thank
having
you
me.
for having me. Of course.
I found
I
network
found NextWork
on,
on.
I found it on
I found it on
Facebook.
Facebook. Ah,
I
I
watched some
watched some
content about
content about
how
how. Oh, the audio seems to be
architecture
breaking.
and
Architecture
seems to
seems
interest
to
me very well.
interest me very
I'm a
well.
front end
I'm a
developer
front end developer
from
from
Nigeria.
Nigeria. Okay. So what I heard is you're a front-end developer from Nigeria. You saw some content on Facebook about system design, and that's how you joined NextWork. Is that right? Yes. Okay. Thanks, Fateh. I know the audio is a little unclear, so I see that you've typed. Great. And I saw that you are interested in AI as well. Um, why AI? If is it something that's being expected at work? Is it because you want to be up to date on what's going on? We have a few AI projects, and we're very excited about all the AI projects that are upcoming as well. And I see that we've got a lot of folks joining in, so please put it in the chat. Let us know where you're joining from. I see Yuhad. Yuhad is it's been a while. Good to see you here. I see Love and Shalila and Benjamin. So good to have you guys here. Amazing. Let me tell you a little bit about NextWork if this is very new to you. And Shane, Sean, Roy, Soheb, since you're all very experienced, feel free to chime in, unmute, and just add into the conversation. Um, so at NextWork, we have a lot of projects, mainly uh, cloud, AWS projects, and we're moving into AI just because there's a lot of demand for it. And in today's world, in the tech space, uh, everyone is leaning on some AI tool or the other. Even all the systems that we use, be it AWS or GCP, it all has a little bit of AI in it as well. So whether you are trying to use AI in your cloud services, whether you're using Bedrock, or you just want to get into the AI workspace, this is a great place to start and get your hands a bit dirty, because at NextWork, we're all about projects and projects that will help you build skills. So since Fateh mentioned that he is keen to look into AI, I'm going to start with one of the AI projects. So if you're completely new, I think this is a great series into AI because you start using Cursor, which is an IDE that has a built in AI agent. And as you work through some of the projects in the series with Claude Code and MCPs, you really build on your existing AI skills and you learn how to build things with the help of AI. As likes to say, it's purely vibe coding. It's also just understanding how to communicate with AI to build things in a way that makes sense to the world, to you, and to your team. So I highly recommend this set of projects, and I'm going to send the link to you here. If you're new to AI and you just want to get in and see what the hype is about, I think this is a great place to start. Hi Benjamin, so good to see you. It's been a while. It's been a while. Are you in a position to unmute? Can I put you on the stage and have you share a little bit about yourself? Because I know it's been a while, but it would be lovely for you to introduce yourself to the community. Hi, Benjamin.
Hi, hello everyone. We hope you are.
Hi. How are you?
Yes, so yeah, I'm doing great. How about you and everyone?
Good. Happy New Year.
A happy New Year to you too and everyone.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Benjamin. For everyone who's joining here, tell us where you're joining from, what you do, how you found NextWork, and what you're up to these days.
So yes, um, I hope you guys can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
That's fine. So I'm Benjamin from Ghana. I've been working in IT, insurance, and then I also serve as a leader as well, both in the secular space and then in my church as well. I don't even remember how I got to know about NextWork, but I think I was not working over a period of time, like 5 months. So I decided to just sharpen my cloud and DevOps skills. I don't know how, but I chanced upon their website. And I said, you know what, let me just pick this challenge up and start building projects. And then again, I also believe in sharing knowledge, which in a way has to be in a form of helping others. Because one or the other, when we have in our channels where you are doing something and it will be placed that if you are stuck, just reach out to people in the community. And that alone gives you a sense of hope because you get to understand that whatever you are going through, people have passed through that already. So I loved also trying to assist people who were encountering the same thing I encountered. So that's how come I was commenting on a lot of posts, trying to like a lot of posts, and then tracking and all that. I actually had a time responding to people, trying to give them what's it called, direction. I had a couple of people sending me DMs that how do they go about this and that and all that. So that's basically that. But currently I'm working as an IT officer and a business consultant. So basically building projects in IT and then business. So that's what I've been doing. And we're working on a field in IT, not really IT, but it's still part of IT. That has to do with field tracking, those telematics and all those things. So I've not had the time to really do a lot of projects, even though I've paid for the pro uh, plan, but I've not had the time to do. But it's always a joy to see people like Shane. I don't know how to pronounce the name too well, but forgive me. I have to be honest with you on that. But I see a lot of people always on the call trying to share knowledge on all these things. And I can assure you that this is really going to pay off. In fact, I know it's even paying off already. So let's do the work and let's see how far we can go. So thank you guys.
I love that. Thanks for sharing, Benjamin. I just want to add that Benjamin has been such a pillar of support for the community. I think before we joined Discord, we used to be on a different platform called Circle, and there was a way you could level up. You can on Discord too, but on Circle, because there was very few people, when you leveled up, it was a big deal. It reflected a lot of contribution, ownership, leadership, and Benjamin was one of those folks who just really stepped up and asking questions and then helping others as well. So it's really good to have you back again, Benjamin.
Thank you. Thank you.
I see we've got Omar. Hi, Omar. How are you? Omar, are you in a position to chat? Oh, I'm driving right now. No worries. No worries. Um, oh, I hope you're not texting while you're driving. That's even more scary. Oh, okay. Please be safe. Please be safe. I don't know where you're joining from, but regardless, please drive safely. But very nice of you to join, um, even when you're driving. I see we have Yuhad and Love as well. Let us know. I don't know if I missed a message. Oh, Love is joining from Nigeria. Look at that. So we've got Love from Nigeria, Fateh from Nigeria. You guys should definitely connect. Which part of Nigeria are you from? Did you know that NextWork has community city groups? And we have a city group in um, Lagos and Abuja. Are either of you from Lagos or Abuja? And Yuhad, are you joining from UK? Remind me again. Soheb is also here. Soheb, was today your first day of your master's program? Maybe Soheb is not in a position to speak. No worries. Let me put it in the chat. Soheb, was today your first day at your master's program? Oh, Yuhad is joining from Morocco. Okay. Very cool. What an international crowd we have today. We have Ghana, we have Nigeria, we have Morocco, we have US, we have New Zealand. Did I miss anything? I think that's pretty diverse. Very cool. Which project is everyone working on right now? Um, I wonder if it might be a good idea if folks did a little introduction. Put it in the chat. Tell us where you're joining from. Some of us know each other, but it's nice to always have that introductions that we share and connect with each other. And then share your LinkedIn profile as well. We can always connect beyond the Discord space. Sohib says, my first day starts on Jan 12th. However, my registration for the spring semester started today at 9 a.m. Okay. Did you register for all the courses that you wanted to? Tell us what the courses are for the spring semester.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Hello, yes, I can hear you.
Cool. So
Yeah,
that's what I
tell
sound
us.
like.
tell us a little bit about the courses you've registered. How many courses? Three?
I only I registered for two, but I'm planning to do only one of them for now
Okay.
because I want to make sure that I ease into ease into the program.
Okay.
The speakers has
The speakers have an echo. I wonder if that's me. I'm going to mute while they speak. Let's see if that works. Go ahead, Sohib.
Yeah. So it's I chose the human computer interaction course, which is pretty which is within my specialization, and it's pretty it's gonna be a lot. I heard it's gonna be a lot of writing, but there's gonna be some cool use of it. So
I was speaking and then I forgot to unmute. Human computer interaction, you said?
yeah, let me just I don't know if I can send you guys this because it's only exclusive to uh you're gonna have to log in. It's only exclusive to OMSCS students. So yeah,
Is it the course syllabus? Syllabus?
not the course syllabus, just the course description. So since yes.
Very cool. It's exciting. I think doing a master's at UT Austin is very exciting. I don't know if I don't know how many of you are familiar with the computer science uh, theoretical piece of it, but I always, when I think of UT Austin, I always think of the Dijkstra algorithm, which is the shortest path algorithm, and the algorithm that's named uh, Dijkstra. Dijkstra. Dijkstra's shortest path algorithm. Um, Dijkstra was at UT Austin, and he's not alive anymore, but I think he it was an amazing computer scientist and really great um, in his papers, the way he came up with the algorithms. Now it's not the shortest path algorithm anymore, but it was pretty epic, and it was yeah, really cool um, professor and scientist at UT Austin.
Yeah, pretty well. Yeah, there's pretty.
Yeah, UT Austin is a great place for computer science. So I think you're in a great space. I'm very excited for you. I would love to be a part of that journey. So keep us posted. You know, when you have projects in your human computer interaction course, and there are things that you have to build. Include us, and maybe we can even do like a demo when you have something to share. What do you think about that, Sohib?
Yeah, that would be great. Um, the thing is that this is not a project based course. I'm not sure what it is, but time commitment would be yeah. I have yet to find out what kind of course it is, but I can say that it covers, based on the overview that I'm reading, it covers three broad categories of topics within human computer interaction: the principles and characteristics of the interaction between humans and computers, the techniques for designing and evaluating user centered systems, and current areas of cutting edge research and development in human computer interaction. So it's basically theory, a lot of theory.
I cannot imagine that course not having a project, though, I have to say, because it's such a cool topic. It really is, and it's best learned when you build things. So, I mean, I would be surprised if there's no project, but if there is no project, it's also an indication of why NextWork is really, really important. And we're doing great things here at NextWork because we're all about projects, building things. I mean, you got to really build things and break things to really learn. Can you imagine learning to swim by reading a textbook?
No, not not really. Uh, not quite. You just basically learn the moves, and then yeah, you have to practice them.
So have I challenge you to do a project. If that course doesn't have a project aspect to it at all, I hope and challenge you to take the concepts that you learn from that course and build something that you can say, hey, this is what I learned. And I think you will learn so much more from that experience, from that initiative if you do it.
Oh, that's for sure. I will definitely do that. The thing is that I wanted to really take artificial intelligence, which is kind of a pretty depth course, but the problem was that it's already full. Like most the class section was already full, and the thing is that since they call this phase 2 registration, so since I'm an incoming student, I only have a limited scope towards uh, certain courses that I'm going to be taking. And that means that I cannot just I don't have that much time to choose that course, to choose a certain course yet. So during my first semester. But for later semesters, for sure, I'm going to make sure to take what I've learned and apply it to a project for sure, because otherwise I'm not doing it. There's no point to the masters in the first place.
Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, if you can get into the AI course, that'd be really cool too. Um, yeah, it's very interesting to me also to think about how education is evolving. And today you can learn so many things. Universities and schools do provide a structure that maybe we need, because it provides a structure of this is what you have to learn, this is how you learn it, and then you have peers and you have mentors and folks who can help you with your learning journey. Um, but I think it's there's different ways around it. Shane has done his master's in cybersecurity at Arizona State, um, and um, he can talk about how. I don't know if you're in a position to speak, Shane, but I think that there's some structure that a master's program um, offers, which is really cool. But sometimes you do have to go above and beyond, and it's a little bit of both, right?
Yeah, the way I've thought about a master's degree is that it's a resource, not something that's so you can solely rely on to get a job. Like, yes, degree is a resource to help you gain the skill, not just prestige or clout. At the end of the day, this work is also a resource. If you combine them, that's when you start to that's when you start to cook. That's when things start to happen. And you start making something good. Yeah, like that's how I approach learning.
Absolutely. Very cool, so very cool. I think Shane had unmuted briefly. Shane, did you want to add anything? I don't know if you're trying to speak, but I cannot hear you.
Hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Echo. I don't know. Just referencing what's being said. Yeah, a lot of these things that we learn and what I learned from ASU, a lot of it was books, theories, and the only time that I felt like I was actually captivated with the whole cybersecurity was when we broke up into teams and it was blue team versus red team, and we both got to go on both sides of that and learning how a website or even how a system is built from the ground up, and then learning how those things are structured, how the code interacts with each other, and how it just comes together. And then, going on to red team and learning how to mess with that code and learning how to break down those barriers, learning how certain things might just have a little bit of a vulnerability, I guess you can say. You know, there's different aspects into how we learned that those we only got to ticker around with it for a little bit, and I got hooked on that, and I started hosting my own websites and learning how to build them strictly code before I started getting to WordPress, and I started it's my own. I paid for my own servers and stuff like that, so I go ahead and I go in there and I hack it myself, and I learn how to implement AI and how to harden it with AI, how to use AI to scan things. There's a lot of tools that come out with for cybersecurity, especially Kali Linux. That's a big one that I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys heard of. And then Parrot OS is a very good one too. And I have learned to use both of those, utilize both of those OSs for cybersecurity. And a lot of our foundation databases and how servers are built, a lot of it is on Linux still. So, to get and learn how to use Linux, and we only got a taste of it, but I had to go through and learn these things on my own and push myself to that hunger to learn and to basically go on a little adventure. What will happen if I do this? What will happen if I do that? It's really all up to you. I mean, a lot of people will download Kali Linux and not know what to do with it. They'll sit there with a nice OS and they're like, okay, I'm a hacker now. How am I going to do this? If you don't understand how the networking works, if you don't understand how all these fundamentals and foundations that we learn in school come together in a project based learning is kind of cool because you get to do these things and hands on. And I think repetition's important, especially in cybersecurity, because I've noticed a few things with like the AI projects that I did. I've used some of those, as a foundation. I use different technologies. I didn't use the exact same one, but I was able to build my own chatbots for my websites and for clients' websites. These are all foundational tools that we can pull in a tool belt and be like, hey, I can do this. But it's always up to you if you want to push yourself in that technology and how far you want to push it. I mean, you can probably create something just off of the foundations of what NextWork is offering. That's the great thing about it. The thing that a lot of people don't get is that when you go through boot camps, you go through these, like, oh, you're going to get 6, 7 figures right off the bat if you complete this. You're going to get this job if you complete this. But the thing is that a lot of it is kind of false advertising. It has to be you that has to push yourself to get through all that. Because you can learn those things and you can just sit there and wait. No one's going to be knocking on your door if you just sit there and wait. You have to go and knock on those doors. So, the foundation set, if you got the drive and the curiosity and the ambition, you can go for it. I mean, you can do a lot with what we're learning through NextWork. I've done a lot learning through NextWork. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and just be persistent. That's a huge thing too. A lot of people will tell you you're not going to be able to do it, but you got to believe in yourself to be able to do it. So that's kind of how I am with this, and I'm trying to catch up to Roy and finish up all these projects as well. So I'm trying to get to that point so I can start these new ones that are coming out, which I'm excited for. And Nat and everyone kind of gave me a little bit of a taste of what's coming out, and there's a handful of security projects that are coming, and I'm really excited for those ones because the one I accidentally did, I've already done for myself, which I kind of, it was interesting because I learned how to do that, and then and to see it being taught, and I was like, okay, I did it right then. Okay, I did it right then. You know, it's kind of cool to see another platform with teaching it that I did maybe months ago on my own. You know, there was no real guideline, just a lot of documentation, reading a lot of documentation just to get to that point. And then when I was, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning my time, and it was right there. It was right there. I was like, "Whoa, is this a new project?" Yeah, I clicked on it. Next day, I was like, "Bump!" And there was only 2 people that finished it. And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna finish this one too." So I dove in there and I read the summary. Once I read the summary, I was hooked. I already knew what it was and how to implement it. I already had a very strong, basically background. I was able to play with the tool and all that stuff. And there's a lot more that you can do with that same technologies there. There's a lot more broadcast you can do with that. Like you can scan ports, you can scan vulnerabilities, you can scan. There's so many things you can do with that tool that's coming out. You guys, it's a good tool to have in your hacker toolkit. So I can't wait to see what people think of that project. And I tell you what, I was loving that one. So that one was a lot of fun. So I can't wait for you guys to try that one out.
Thanks for sharing that, Shane. I really just so that everyone has context. On Friday, today's Wednesday in New Zealand. On Friday, January 9th, we are releasing 21 projects in 21 days. So that's every day we're releasing a new project, and that is AI. AI security, AI DevOps, AI AWS, AI, um, using AI to be really good at what you are already doing, whether it's security, whether it's DevOps, whether it's cloud engineering. And one of the projects was um, somehow sneaked out, and Shane found it. And Shane finished the project and he shared it with the community. And I think I saw it and I was like, Nat, I think this project is supposed to be private. And Nat got in, and she was like, "Oh, okay, Shane, you found it, you did it. I'm so glad you love it. This is great." And then and so now it's private, but Shane definitely got a sneak peek preview, and I think Nat and I, we were talking about it. We loved how I think it was Roy who mentioned it's a little Easter egg that Shane found. So it's one of the goodies we've been saving for all of you to release, and here is Shane was like, I found it, which is so cool. Super exciting. And yes, Roy, you've got to wait for it now. But it is day 3 of the project, so it will be released very, very soon. Stay tuned. Um, yeah, I can't wait to tell you all about it. Maybe in tomorrow's Connect with the community, I will tell you all the projects that are coming up, at least the first 5, and give you a little bit of a sneak peek into what you can expect. We're also going to do a challenge with like who can finish the 21 projects um, first. So stay tuned. I'm very, very excited about everything that's coming up this month. Yeah. Any ideas or requests on projects that you have, please do share it with us. We are constantly trying to make sure that we have the most updated projects, skills that you want to build and use, and showcase in your resume, in your portfolio, in a way that is useful. And as Shane mentioned, there's no hard and fast rule of like, oh, I do 21 projects and I'm going to get a job. It's about that consistency, that endurance. It's about thinking about what you've created and building on it, knowing how to speak about the projects, how to showcase it, how to put it in your portfolio, and going with that. I think there's a lot of ways around it. I would love to know how you find the projects as well as how you talk about the projects. And actually, what I've been thinking about, this is a very premature idea, so I'm really curious to hear from you as well. I'd love to, after the 21 projects that we release, have a do your own project, and then we have a showcase your project. And so this is not a NextWork project, but it's something that you've built based on everything that you have learned from NextWork, from elsewhere, and then you showcase that, and then we have like a competition or like a cook-off, and what I think would be useful in that is that you start to talk about your own projects, and you have to document it in your own way, and you have to explain it and communicate it in a way that anyone would understand. And we can have judges for this competition and see how that goes. What do you think about that idea? Shane says, oh, I have a lot of those. Yes, yes. Sean has that too. Sean is always building something, and then he has he just very effortlessly starts a event on NextWork Live, and it's like, oh, I'm building this. Watch me build it live. So that's also, he's got so many projects. I think the one he's working on now is Broker Karma. So that could be showcased as well. And I'm sure all of you are working on so many things that we would love to see and hear about. So I'm very excited. Let me know what you think about that idea. But that would be something that we would do in February, giving you enough time to build the skills and then come in and create something of your own. I think today I saw somebody, if you can see my screen, I found a student founder who's building a mental health tech, and he's creating a AI-powered mental health companion platform. And it's so cool. This is not an NextWork project, but it's something that he's sharing, and he has the Git portfolio of it here, and I'm happy to share this here. If you check it out, do send him a note and let him know that you have seen it, and you can give him feedback as well. That's, I think, what's so wonderful about the NextWork community is that you are building things. It could be NextWork projects, it could be something else, but then you share it with the community and you learn from the community, and I think it is such a great place to support each other. So if you get a chance to take a look at his project, he's got the live as well. It would be really cool if we could all just give feedback on what's working, what's not working, and how he can improve. So that's something that I came across today. And I don't know how many of you are very familiar with NextWork. If it's all right, I would like to quickly show you what the community looks like and what you can do in the community. If you go to the announcements, I try to make sure that you see a schedule for the week. So you have all the events that are coming up, all in New Zealand time. But if you go into the events right here, you would also see where and when the events take place, and it's to your time zone, which might be useful. You can also then add it to your calendar so that you get the reminder. And sometimes there are events run by folks outside of the NextWork team. So community leaders in Nigeria or Philippines, um, or even Sean. I don't think Sean creates an event. He just goes very spontaneously. But sometimes you will see planned events by community leaders that you can just stay tuned to and keep an eye out for. Um, Welcome is where everyone comes in and says hi. General chit chat is where all the conversation happens. If you have any question which is network related or tech related or career related, you can put it in here. Speaking of which, I saw this awesome post by Roy, which was really cool. And maybe, Roy, if you're in a position to talk about it, I think this is so cool. He shared um, a tool that allows you to do interviews, tech interviews. Um, Roy, maybe, yeah, maybe you can speak a little bit about this. Hi, Roy.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this thing, I use this a lot with everything I do. Hearing a little feedback on the echo.
Oh, let me mute.
So what I was saying is that I use this all the time. I do it, little mock interviews daily. But I thought this would be something that would benefit for everybody because it's a AI tool. You can use Claude, Gemini, or ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT. I throw it in a project, but I have a prompt that really tailors to building out a realistic interviewer. Whether you're interviewing for a cloud engineer role, developer role, it's you can pretty much build it out to how you want it, and you can use the ChatGPT to prompt out the type of you know content you want in there. Like, what would a cloud engineer have? What kind of phases? You've seen how some interviews on YouTube kind of flow, and it's you can even prompt uh, the AI to provide that. But overall, it's just something that is, it removes the nerves, it removes the judgment, and a constant practice in regards to being ready for interviews. And I've used this multiple times ever since it came out, where you kind of use the projects or the skills in Claude to kind of really tailor your prompts to the way you want it. And this has been very helpful for me, and it gives you more insights on what to expect for different roles, and kind of gives you, like, as you see in the diagram, you can actually have the evaluation feedback to tell how'd you did, whether if you can get hired, you're borderline, this is where you need to be worked on. It gives that, and I think that's, if you can build something like this to where it benefits you, why not, right? And this is not like a layer of uh, of AI that we don't have access to. It's literally the basic Gen AI model.
This is really cool, Roy. I really appreciate you sharing this. If somebody wanted to implement this, how do they get started? Sorry, I've got hiccups.
I would recommend get a better understanding of prompt engineering. Once you have that, you just work with your prompts. Um, I kind of did it because I actually have a AI assistant builder where it builds me the ultimate AI assistance that fits my need, and I built out a interviewer. And if you can really hone your prompting, I think you can get here. But it's all about how you want that persona to, you know, be. As if you want it to be an interviewer, you want it to be strict, you want it to be however you want it. It just goes back to how you want to structure it. So, um, I think it's beneficial, but I would say start with prompt engineering. Play with it. You know, it's not there to judge you. It literally works for you, and you can play with it because once you do that, I think it'd be beneficial for everybody. Is that you actually learn more ideas from it. You're like, you know what? If I can make it for this, maybe it will help me figure out some recipes for dinner because I don't know what I'm gonna cook. Maybe let me ask. Okay, I created a chef AI assistant. I have these ingredients in the fridge. What can I make? Boom, make this way. Boom, you don't have to worry. But that's just a fun stuff. But getting back to this interviewer, it's just once you get the prompting in, you can dictate how the phases were. I would say outline what a typical uh, interview goes through, and you kind of run through those flows. Then you provide the feedback afterwards.
Very, very, very cool. It is so cool to see this and to see that you use prompt engineering as a way of building the AI buddies or agents that you need for your use cases. I actually, honestly, I would love for you to lead a session on building, what it takes to build a session. How do you get started? I think it would be really useful for the community if you could just present something for like nothing more than 30 to 40 minutes of for someone who to get started. I think it would be. What do you think about that, Roy?
Yeah, I don't mind it. Depending on what's the topic. Are we talking about more of building out any kind of prompting or more confined to this one in general?
I mean, I think both are beneficial. I think this one, I can see a higher urgency for it because so many of the learners in the NextWork community have talked about how do I get a job. And sometimes it's, I know how um, prompt engineering, AI, can help you review your resume and make it better, get a the recruiter eye in reviewing the resume. But since you already have something like this built out, it would be really cool to start there to see how you've done that and then take a step back and say, oh, Roy built this and it's working and now we can recreate this. But also, how did Roy even come up and build this? What are the tools and skills that he has to enable them to do that? How do we build those skills and then share it? And then I think we can go from there.
Got it. Okay, I'll do some homework. I gotta reverse engineer a couple processes. But yeah, I think I can build out something, a good short session to kind of build that out because I agree it's very beneficial. And I think if anyone who's trying to get into AI can really master or like what we do here with constantly build just the prompt engineering part of it, I think that will take you so many places because um, with this is pretty much the building blocks of everything that's being built now. AI, cloud engineering, that's what's the buzzwords being used now. That's utilizing um, these tools to integrate with real life stuff. So it's a really good thing for anyone to learn. So I agree.
We already have Fateh who has RSVP'd for your session, Roy.
Sounds good. Let me see what I have on the calendar now. I'll put something out.
Yeah, let me know, and I can help you with that as well, making sure that that event is broadcasted so that everyone has access to it, even and that session is recorded, so that even after that, people can access it because we've got learners from all over the world, and our events tailored to half of the world. And so it'd be nice to have a recording available for others to tune into at a later time. Thanks, Roy. We have Sido and Azam who's joined in. And look, we've got the box. What a cool display picture for the box. It's a head with a box, literally. Where are you joining from? Box. We've got folks from U.S., Nigeria, Ghana, Morocco, and New Zealand. And within U.S., we have Maryland and Texas and Arizona. All right. Thank you all for joining in today. Are there any questions, concerns, comments, things you're looking forward to that you'd like to share before we wrap up this call?
Just one thing. I was actually curious about how you use, like, if there's going to be a project that will involve using math to create like neural networks or things like that, because I'm really into math, and I don't know if it's going to be too complicated for this, but yeah, because there's a lot of math heaviness. But yeah, I was just wondering.
You're asking if there will be a project that has math involved?
Like something that involves the weight, manipulating the weights and parameters of the neural networks,
Mm.
like using math and linear algebra.
That's a cool question. So the way I see it, and the way we design projects at NextWork, it's our mission, and this is something that we chant at our stand-up meetings every day. Our mission is to meet the skill demand of the world to solve the toughest problems. And we do this by creating the world's best learning platform. And so our projects and our content is targeted to build and equip our learners with a skill that they can use to then um, to meet the needs of the industry, to then at a later point actually solve a complex problem. And when you talk about using math in the projects, I can see how it might be needed, and it then depends on the role. It depends on the skill that we're trying to build and work towards. And I think of it as like a data analyst or a data scientist might need those kinds of skills. So I do see that happening and coming up. I don't know how near in the future we can expect that, but I think this is why it is really important that you all share what you want to see um, in um, in our community, which is let me share my screen real quickly. I've got Roy's um, diagram up here. 1 second, let me pull it up here. Okay, so if I go back and here in the bottom, and I know Sohib, you've already requested the project neural networks in here, and we just want more people to say that that's what they want to see. I also think that as NextWork gets bigger in terms of learners and users, um, the request is going to be more diverse, and we'll see what the needs are at that point. So stay tuned, Soeb, and keep building things, keep telling us what you want to see, and we'll go from there.
It's good.
Thanks for asking that question. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
You know, I think one day we will get to a point where you can request a project and the project will come up. We'll generate the project. I think that's the dream, and that's something that we'd love to have at NextWork. So you know, you never know. It might be sooner than later.
Test, test. Nope.
Sean, were you saying something?
No, I was just I was testing my mic because I'm using Whisper now and it keeps attaching to my Google Chrome incorrectly. So I didn't know if you could hear it. I was just testing my mic. But I do have a question since there's so much experience in the room. I need a logic question answered. So I'm building this. You're rolling your eyes, Maya.
I'm just very curious. I'm very intrigued.
Oh. Okay, so I'm building just some back, some back end to kind of get you up to speed on this, right? So I'm building this little platform to kind of like a review board, kind of like a Yelp, right? And it's about the trucking industry, right? And I've downloaded this 2.2 million data points from the federal government. So I've got this, and it's up on Superbase, and I've got Render host in the front end. So I've got my local host running that I'm making adjustments to it. So in that environment, I have the database in my local environment. It's talking to Superbase, to the production level database, right? But I think my AI started hallucinating, and I followed the hallucination because I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So it's created a demo database so I could run the functions, if that makes sense, So it spun up or I created a SQL Server database locally. Okay. Now, and here's where the confusion is. I hope I explained that enough, right? So the front end it has like a form, and you fill out the form, right? And it records all the entries, like what the trucker is, what the MC number is, which is like their motor carrier number. It identifies them. So I have this. So I'm having two different databases, but my local is talking to the production database. So my question, hang on, I forgot my question because I was trying to explain it all. So my question is, if do I need Docker? Do I have, because now I'm incorporating Docker into it, and I'm kind of like, well, I really don't need Docker right now, right? Does that make sense? Because my interpretation is Docker will allow me to take an image of the project, pull it into or spin it up from my local server into a real live environment, and then I can copy that image to my production environment. Does that make sense? Hope I explained that right.
Oh, okay. Sohab says he has to go. Thanks for sharing that, Sean. And I'll open it up to anyone who might have uh, um, a suggestion or advice on this. From right off the back, I don't think you need Docker right now. But maybe
That's
Roy.
what I was thinking.
Yeah, Roy, Shane, Cito, Azam, any of you. You guys have a
So,
suggestion.
so it sounds like it's a tier 3 architecture approach, and you got your dev and you got your production. And it might be that if you're not able to push the data to the production, maybe the variables you have is just pointing to the dev, which is local. Um, but ultimately you're trying to get it into production. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. So my database is connected to my local, but it keeps wanting to connect to my demo database inside my super base. So should I just torch torch the demo database and just start pulling that data in, because it's already pulling into my local environment, right? Like, so it's part of the authentication process is what what's happening, right? So I have a username, password, and everything else that's created, but I'm also attaching the MC, where the MC number, the motor carrier number, goes to my database that pulls from the federal government to validate to allow that user in. So only people who are registered as certified drivers can leave a review, right? And so I'm having the database, it pulls twice a day, right, from the federal government, because I don't want the project to be dependent on the federal government's website because it goes down all the time. I literally downloaded the whole database from the federal government, and so I have it, and it goes through an iteration where it updates itself for any changes. But before I created that, I simulated that with a SQL database to make all the functions on the front end work, right? And then when I migrated it over to the production, it all worked. But now when I go to fix something, like, oh, I don't like that box there, or add the zip code, or validate with zip code on top of the address, or something like that. It keeps running back to it keeps cute, and I fix it, but then it hallucinates and it reverts back to the old database. Did all that make sense?
Yeah, a lot of components. I think something that we should like take up, take offline and look at to kind of get more into the finer details. But it doesn't seem like it needs Docker. But Docker is just a good way to structure it for issues like this. So you have everything kind of mirrored when you move into the different environments. But I think it just looks like maybe something might be hard coded. It just needs to adjust that. But yeah, I think maybe one of these times when you do your Zen couch or whenever you're doing it, maybe we can look into it more. But I think looking into that hard coded thing maybe a possible solution, but a little bit more digging needs to see what's the bigger picture and all the things you have running.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that because last night I was like, well, I'll just create a Docker environment and then fix it in there and then push it up to, my production. And I felt like, and you helped me tremendously because I felt like I was going down the wrong path with Docker and just, overcomplicating it, over designing it. And I'm like, just stop, Sean. Just what are you doing? So I was like, and then I finally asked myself, I'm like, what am I doing? Do I need Docker? I was like, I don't need Docker, do I? So then I started questioning everything. But
You
I'm having
know,
fun doing it. But
to add more confidence in the things you're building, I think you should implement like a build planning phase so you can really identify all those components you want to use, and at least you can always go back to those through your whole system build to kind of reinforce it. But so you don't run into like these little small issues, but that's just the fun part, troubleshooting and breaking things like Maya said. um, and you just keep building it out. But sometimes you have to kind of you know run tests, quality assurance tests to make sure everything's running properly.
yeah. So that's yeah. And so that's exact. I had a I had a plan, right? I had a struck. I did do that this time. Is I did an outline on exactly how everything would flow and kind of mapped it out. And then it was all working really cool in my local. And then when I went to production, I'm like, oh, this is what it's like going to production. This is where you find out where everything like breaks. So I've been working my way through that until I got in this little vicious loop with my Honestly, it took me a little while to figure out that it kept defaulting to this demo uh, database. I was like, oh, great, that's not working. So once I figured that out, then I was like, okay, let's get the full database on Superbase in production and talk to it, on the local. And then it started midstream. It started hallucinating, going back to that demo thing, and then I started hallucinating, doing stupid stuff, and I was like, wait a second, I need to recalibrate. But thank you, that helps me a lot. What you said, and I'm gonna destroy Docker. I don't need that for right
Uh,
now.
Awesome. One recommendation is, since you use Cursor ID, take a look at I guess, the project rules and the cursor rules to kind of really fine tune the type of builder you are. So at least it's more related to kind of how you're building it out. That's what I utilize, so it knows the parameters to run it through, so it doesn't hallucinate as much. And that's one of the items that I use, so it keeps everything on track. But yeah.
Well, thank you, Roy. Appreciate that, man.
There was also a comment by Azam on the chat about when you talked about how you followed there's a bit of hallucination, you followed through it. He did give you a tip, just pointing it out so that you don't miss it.
Where is it? Oh, I
Azam
see it now.
says to reduce hallucinations, you can use system prompts and try to anchor points so that the context is maintained. Also, creating rule files will help greatly. And I'm sure you're using rule files, right?
Yeah, I use a. Oh, there's an echo.
Oh, sorry, I'll mute.
Yeah, I created a readme dash AI file, which basically I tell AI to, like kinda like a ledger, uh, like a just a continuous, storybook of what's happening. So when it does hallucinate, I can say, hey, read me AI file, and it kind of recalibrates. So that's a best practice that I kind of implemented and use. Is that what
Yeah,
you're talking
I
about?
think Sean.
Go
Sorry,
ahead, sorry.
but I think Sean, we did one. I think a patch, sorry, a pull request that had that exactly where to add the rule files. I think it was in KVW or something.
All right, testing 1 2. Testing. Can you hear me?
Omar, we can hear you. How's it going,
Okay.
my man?
How you doing? How you doing? Man, boy, that was rough. I was driving on the road and then I had to pull over and get to the house, and I wanted to jump into this conversation pretty bad.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, so greetings everybody. I want to wish everybody a happy new year, first of all. And I love your program that you got going on, Maya, and everybody with the NextWork team. No, I just wanted just to jump in here real quick and just mention there was a couple of days ago that you were doing a project. I think you were doing like a live stage, and I was trying my best to communicate with you guys. I was wondering, did you hear me at all, or
Yeah, Omar, that was I saw you at the end. That was me doing a Zen couch kind of thing
okay,
that I do spontaneously.
okay.
It's I don't work for networks or anything. I'm just a hobbyist and a student, and a learner like everybody else. And
Okay, okay. Because I was wondering, I was like, man, is he ignoring me? I was like, man, I was screaming in the background,
oh
like trying to trying to figure out what was going on. But I was like, but he did come up and say, but he did say, yeah, I'm not taking questions or comments. So when he said that, I was like, oh, okay, I got you. I guess I wasn't sure what he had going on, but
yeah, I apologize. I apologize for that. What it
okay.
is I have so many things open. I can't see the Discord screen. I can't see
No,
people.
no, that's
You
cool.
know.
No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no, 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 that's fine. No, no, but the main reason I was trying to contact you and let you know what was going on. I was needing to know what your background was so I could kind of kind of assist what you were doing because you were making moves, and I was like, oh Lord, does he understand what he's doing right now? But I didn't know your background, so I don't know. Can you kind of tell me what your background is in coding,
Yeah.
in database and yeah, so I can kind of know how to direct.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you very much. I'm Sean Fitzgerald. I'm a retired paramedic. I retired about 6 or 7 years ago, and I'm just a coding hobbyist. I don't. I like building things and breaking things and learning things. And I'm sure from your point of view, being a coder and stuff like that, you're probably like, "What's he doing?" It's just me fumbling my way through and learning it is basically what it is. And I've
Okay.
built some stuff.
Listen. I'm sorry, Fitz. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I had a bump in power here in a second, so I lost maybe the last 30 seconds. So when I asked what's your background, I missed all of that. So I'm just now coming
Okay.
back in. Yeah. So go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So my name's Sean Fitzgerald. I'm a retired paramedic. I was a paramedic for 32 years. I've been retired for about 5, 6 years, 7 years or so.
Mhm.
I'm a hobbyist. I don't inspire to get an IT job. I mean, if one comes down the pipe that I enjoy, then yes. But I just like building things and learning.
Okay. Got you. So I just kind of wanted to
Hey,
know what your
Omar, just
background
a
was.
request. Omar, there's a lot of disturbance from your end, so if you're not speaking, can you mute?
Yeah, I'm speaking.
Yeah, no, when Sean was speaking. Just going forward. Thank you.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. My bad. Um, I got my headset on too, so I didn't think there would be any disturbance. But anyways,
Yeah.
okay. So where did I leave off?
I think you're
Um,
going to tell me something about how you're going to help or something like that.
oh yeah. So I was trying to explain to you that I was in the industry you was in before. I did basically all the aspects of it, and I was on the tech side before I became an owner operator or whatever. So I have a lot of background in actually what you were building. But the reason why I was screaming while you were building because I was saying to myself, man, this guy he's building a lot of debt, a lot of a lot of a lot of technical debt, and if you don't understand a certain amount, because you were using like a Python backend, and I think React in the front, and you were
Yeah.
using a lot of middleware in between. I was like, bro, this dude must be an expert because you building some type of technical debt going on, and you can get to a point in this where you're just like kind of where you're at now, I guess, where you're like, oh wow, what's next. So I was just going to suggest that all depending on where your skill set was, I would kind of just strip it down. I would strip it way down because which with the Python backend and the React front end and all the middlewares you were using, like how many different middlewares were you using?
I think like 4.
Yeah, it looked like more than four. And I mean,
Probably.
and you were prompting and the AI because I saw what was going on and I saw the AI agent he was adding this package. I'm gonna add this. I was like, oh my gosh. So that's 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 technical debt, right? So and it's fine to and it's fine to do that if you have the background in all of the packages that you're using, right?
Yeah.
So but to answer your question, do you need Docker? To specifically answer that question, yes, you need Docker. You always need Docker, right? And the reason why you need Docker is because that is the basis currently for the modern infrastructure, right? Leaning from Docker
Modern
Compose.
deployment. Yeah.
Exactly. So to answer that specific question, yes, you always need Docker. You always build it from the ground up using Docker. Now, with all that being said, that's a simple layer. That's a simple layer, like the other brother was talking about earlier. 3-layer architecture, 4 architecture. So, so if you were doing this as an employee, let's say, right, they would want to see before you started to build this project Where's your documentation? What's your plan? The other brother mentioned that earlier, I believe. I forget his name, but he's
Roy.
basically wanting to see. He's basically wanting to see your blueprint to architecture prior to building this. Why? Because at that stage you can say, okay, this nope, Python backend, nope, don't need that. This is too much debt here to this middleware. No, because the agent, they're just gonna assume that you know what the hell you're doing, and they're just gonna start just adding stuff. Because you're gonna prompt it, they're gonna say, hey, your wish is my command. You know, it's not gonna say the cursor or the agent. Who are you using, Claude?
Yeah, I'm using Claude right now.
Okay. So Claude is not going to say, Fitz, are you sure that you want to add this package? This is package number 98 that you're adding. I don't know. This package may not be currently compatible with the 38 packages that you had earlier. So further on down the line, this may need an update in 6 months, and you may not understand how to do that. Claude's not going to do that, right? So that's the reason why I was in the background saying, man, boy, he's rocking along. You were doing very well, but I was just wondering, do you understand the technical debt that you were building with this project?
Yeah.
That's all I was asking.
Yeah, to be totally transparent with you, no, I did not know the technical debt that I was. To be honest with you, this is the first time I'm hearing about technical debt. I understand it now that you explained it to me.
Right.
But that's a learning process for me. You know, I'm like, oh, that makes total sense. I'm like, that makes total sense.
Right.
But just kind of like to give me some kudos. I did this time. I did have an outline and I did structure it before I started. You know, before I dove
okay,
into
cool.
it.
Yeah,
but 100%. I'm the child in the candy store that you got to say, hey, put it down. You don't need
right. So when I
took my first scissors, you know?
Yeah, right. So when I took my first class years ago on coding, this is prior to IDEs. I ain't gonna tell you my age, but we didn't use IDEs. IDEs wasn't a thing, and they taught us early about technical debt, right? And each feature that you add, think of it like having a child. I don't know if you have children, right? Each feature that you add is like having a child. Each child needs X, Y, Z. They need this many bottles, or they're basically updates. You know, they need this much food, that much food, and each feature right now in the modern time comes from a different vendor for the most part. We don't write a lot of these features, right? And the NextWork team really explains that a lot. You know, talking about packages. What's the package? But if you're a hobbyist or whatever and don't know what a package is, then you got to realize, okay, you know, because you see the words all the time, right? Package. How many packages added? I talk to people all the time. They're building their vibe coders. What's a package? I don't know. Well, you just added 3 of them. but they're just vibe coding away, so they don't even understand what a package is. So just getting back to the fundamentals and just, okay, well, hey, what's the MVP? What's the minimum that this project needs to roll, right? What's the minimum that you need to roll? So to answer your first question, Docker, yes, we need Docker. That's just the first layer. That's just the deployment tool. Not very much debt there. Not very much debt. There's just it's just putting it in a container. That's all you're doing, literally, right? And then from there, you could configure your container however you want. That's not really technical debt at all. But what goes inside of that container? What is going inside of it? React. What are we going to use for the back end, right? You were using Python. I wouldn't, from my experience, if you don't understand that, if you're not versed in Python, by at least a year or 2, I wouldn't use Python as a backend. I would use Node.js. Why would I use Node.js? Because Node.js works hand in hand with React. What was you saying?
Yeah, I got my start in Python.
Okay.
You know, but I'm not. I understand the functions of it.
Yes.
And then there is no Node.js in this, and so yes, I totally get, you know, that I have a lot of debt, you know, in it.
Right. Right.
But this is my first project to take it to this level. So, you know, I already know that I'm in way over my head. but I want to be in over my head,
Right,
because
right, right,
I want to break stuff,
right,
I want to
right.
learn stuff. But thank you. I mean, you're teaching me so much right now. I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
appreciate the conversation.
yeah. And if this is like a hobby project, you're not using it for deployment or anything, cool. But it seems like you kind of want to do something with this, right? So you
Yeah,
could
I do.
literally you could build it out as a hobby with very little debt, and you could just iterate and reiterate and reiterate. But if you build it so huge, you you're gonna have to crash and burn it and just start over. That's all I'm saying. That's just the only suggestion that I have. You could build it out with just the front end. Just do your UI layer right now. UI, no back end, no database, just UI. How do you want this thing to look? You can build it out in React. Now later you cool because now you could add a back end. You could add Python, you could add Node.js, you can add PHP. Wrong answer on that, but I'm just saying you could if you wanted to. But you could use Next.js, which is a framework that you can. Okay, I'm hearing myself echo. I'm hearing an
Yeah,
echo.
mine needs
Somebody.
to mute.
Yeah, because I unmuted. Go on.
Oh, okay.
So,
So there's frameworks out there that were built for people just like you. And it's a guy. I think he's Argentinian or something like that. And he built this framework called Next.js. So it's like an all-in-one type situation for guys like you that want to build this quote unquote project where you could do a React front end, and he's built his framework to where basically you have everything encapsulated as in one. It's a lightweight framework. It isn't anything like Laravel, which is huge. That's a whole nother story. But with Next.js, for an example, you can use your React, you can use your backend, which is Node.js. It's a encapsulation layer that Next.js has built in your front end, your back end, your API calls, like all in one. It's like an all in one deal. It's like a SUV. You can basically do anything with this framework. I would suggest using that because you can do everything with it. Now with your database, you can use services like MongoDB. I wouldn't suggest using a SQL type database with this project, um, because SQL is basically for enterprise. It's a very, 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 very old technology at this point. Um, if you do use it, I would use a database called Postgres, but that's a whole nother story. But
no,
for what you got
that's what
going
I'm
on,
using. I'm using
Postgres.
Postgres on
Okay.
Superbase is my
Okay, cool,
hosting.
cool, cool. So yeah, so that's cool, but I would definitely not use just a straight SQL. No way, because you
Yeah.
want to be able to use a document-oriented database. A document-oriented database. You can look that up. So
So I
yeah,
think that's where my hallucination is coming in, because I used a SQL demo for my demo data
right.
locally, and so when I pushed it out to the production, what I'm calling the production on Superbase,
Right.
it keeps hallucinating between the two. I
Right,
think
right,
between
right.
Progress and
Right.
SQL.
So my comment to that question is, what MCP server are you using?
Superbase.
No, that's not an MCP
MCP.
server. Right. Superbase is a layered database. It's a abstraction layer. It's a service that brings a database to you. But an MCP server is a completely different um, technology right now that helps with things like what you would call hallucinations, right? So whenever people, because I teach a beginner class for right now, and whenever the kids say that it's hallucinating, I normally say no, the AI is not hallucinating, you're hallucinating, because
Right.
there's systems set up now called MCP, Model Context Protocol. I'm echoing, so I can't.
Oh,
I'm
yeah, no, I just wanted
discombobulated.
to add
Yeah,
to the conversation.
yeah. Go ahead.
Because it's just that we're going a little bit over time, and it's such a great conversation, and I don't want to
Okay, I'm
interrupt.
sorry. I'm sorry.
No,
I
no,
didn't
no,
mean to
no,
take it
no,
over.
no. I do want to really appreciate, Omar. Like, we need um, your feedback on these things. It's, a lot of us, we're learning, building projects, and it's really important that there is a lot of fearlessness, that when we build things, we're willing to break it. And I really have to appreciate Sean for everything that he builds. It is, he comes in with so much um, vulnerability, and um, builds all kinds of projects. Whatever excites him, he just, like Sean mentioned himself, he's a bit of a he gets excited like a kid in a candy store. And
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's
True.
really awesome that Sean has these Zen couches where he just shares his project. And I don't know if many people can do what he does. He just very openly says, "Hey, I've built this. I'm gonna build this. I'm gonna build this live. I don't
Yeah.
know what I'm doing, but here I am doing this in front of you all." And I think it takes a lot of courage and a lot of confidence to do that. So I really appreciate Sean for everything that he's built, and
Yeah.
has built
Yeah. He's
live.
doing a great job.
And you
We
too,
just
Omar. Like, it's so cool. Like, the way you talk about technical debt. This is something that we talk about at NextWork when we talk about building the app, and it is such an important aspect that you really have to think about when you're building tools. When you're doing a hobby project, you don't have to worry about it as much. But if you're thinking about a app that you want to build and then maintain for years to come, you do have to think about technical debt. And it's such a technical concept that
yeah.
it's not taught in a project. It's taught as a concept that you really have to understand and then think about when you build things. So I
Yeah.
really appreciate you sharing that, Omar, and I want to make sure that we have these kinds of conversations more and more. Just you talking about this makes me think of, oh, what is another session that we can have that allows us to talk about these things, and learn even the technical concepts that are not something that you can learn in a project, but something that you need to think about when you build things. So, Omar, I really appreciate that. And
Yeah.
on that note, I do want to say that I want to. I was about to wind down the event, and I asked for a last minute question back.
Yeah. 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 I apologize. Just 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Can I get 30 seconds and I'm done?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Like I said, I appreciate Sean. I like what he's doing, and I hope he doesn't stop. All I was trying to explain is that next time I just hope that he does like a Q&A or an open forum, so we can we could vibe with him. That's all. I mean, so that's really what I that was the main thing that I was hoping that he would do, so we can at least give some type of a feedback. And I love it, and I wish that it was going on more, and I plan on doing that. That's actually on my list of things that I'm going to do this year. Just doing the fundamentals, teach, basically to teach the ABCs of this stuff, and that's why I like your platform, which is NextWork, and I'm done. I appreciate you.
Omar.
Really, really appreciate you, Omar. Sean, I'm gonna just add
Oh,
add to that. Omar, I would love for you to join tomorrow around this time, just because you were driving when you joined, and we didn't get a full-fledged intro, but would love to chat more and connect with you. And now I will let Sean speak, so that I don't hijack the whole conversation. Go on, Sean.
I- Omar, me and you need to become best friends, man. For real. I could talk to you for hours. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I hit you up. I ain't heard nothing back from you yet, so
Uh, I've been neck deep in in my coding environment, trying to develop things. But I posted my phone number there, and anybody can call me or text me. Shane or Roy or Derek or anybody. But let's get on a phone call when you have some time. I'd love to talk to you for a while. Is he still there? Hello?
yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm calling you for sure. I'm writing it down right now.
All right, man.
All right, everyone. It was so good having all of you here. For those of you who are more silent listeners, I see you. Thank you for joining, and thank you for being such an active part of the conversation. It's been really awesome. We've had some great conversations today. We've had folks joining in from all over the world: Morocco, Nigeria, Ghana, U.S., and we've talked about everything from DevOps to the 21 and 21 to community projects to AI, neural networks, and we've had Sean and Omar really go in on the um, the disadvantages or the troubles of vibe coding when you don't have the foundations. And it's, I think, a really good shout and something to keep in mind as we build and as we use AI to build things. I also want to shout out to Roy, who talked about how you can use AI to be a voice assist when you are preparing for interviews. And he's willing to have lead a session on it. And so maybe Omar, you can also lead a session that might be really useful for us to learn from. Thank you all for joining. We will be in the event. There's another event tomorrow, same time, and I will send the details right here in the chat. So, would love to see you. Box has a great question, and I want to share that and answer the question um, before we go. So if this is your, I think you can see my screen. If this is your community, if you go on the top, you will see events right here. And then you will see all the events that are coming up. And if this might be confusing in any way, you can also check out announcements where I try to be as neat as possible and you can see what to expect. The only thing is that these timings are in New Zealand time. So, what I would recommend is if there's an event that interests you, like Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. is when Connect with Community happens. So, just go to the event and you will see that tomorrow at 11 a.m. on every Thursday, there's going to be a Connect with Community. So then you can just say interested and sign up for it. You can also add it, share it with your friends. You can add it to your calendar, and you can stay tuned for all the events that are coming up as well. I hope that answers your question, Dotbox. Thank you all for joining today. And if you have any question, feel free to ask. We've got a whole Ask Anything forum here where you can put in all your questions and contribute as well. Thank you all for sharing everything today. Wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and have a great rest of the day. I will be doing a interactive build lab later today in about an hour or so, so maybe I will see you there. See you, Azam. See you, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.